All right, y'all, serious conversation. So this weekend I had to take care of two family members, right, who were in the hospital. But what dawned on me was the gentleman to the right of the room, where I was doing my shift. You know, if you're blessed enough to have family with active, siblings and, wives, whatever, you do your shifts, right? So it's not all on one person. I know some of y'all looking at this right now like it's all on me, and that's not good. All right. But what dawned on me was the brother next to us had no one come visit him the entire 4 days that I was there. Happened to be an African American brother. Now his wife could have widowed. There could be a lot of things going on, but brothers and sisters, I want you to think about it because I talk to my clients about this all the time. Have you considered that you might have regret for not taking relationships more seriously? All right. So right now you might be cool being single, and you might be cool being single in the future. You can definitely be a happy single person. But some of you, if you're like many of my clients, they come to me, they're late 40s, 50s, even 60s, and says, you know what? I don't like my life. I would rather have tried dating more seriously versus letting that pain from the past stop me from even giving brothers and sisters a chance. Cause I don't want to be retired by myself. I don't want to be in the hospital by myself. I don't want to have to recover at home by myself. Right? So listen, give love a chance. Don't let that pain stop you from the future companionship that you need as you age.
You're getting too old for this shit.
I said I'm never coming back again. Next I stepped away from the mirror. I got my mind made up now, cause I can see the future much clearer.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You saw the thumbnail. Hopefully, you paid attention to the clip. This is about, lonely, being single versus being lonely. I look at it as one of them things where there are people who been in relationships, committed, whatever, just regular single, maybe all the way to being married, right? People who have kids, people who haven't. And then there are people who just, they have an aversion that I really don't want to be in a relationship. I really don't want to be, have no kids. I just want to just do me. And it doesn't work out. I'm gonna say it that way. It doesn't work out in the end the way people think. Like everybody I've heard who said I'm gonna just be by myself and I got all the freedom in the world to do whatever I want to do. That never ends well. And the reason I'm saying that is because some people just want to be single, right? And they just want to be single. They single, mingle, date, yada yada yada, and it sounds good, but everybody's not built to be single. And what I mean is everybody's not built to be in the dating market, because a lot of y'all like being single when you think people are rocking with you or you have a bevy of options. And then when you realize, when you don't have those options and when people aren't rocking with you, now you just by yourself, lonely. It ain't fun no more, The going out ain't fun no more. You can always see new people, but that don't mean you meeting new people. You get what I'm saying? So you seeing people left and right, but that don't mean they rocking with you. So it gets to that point where now you just out there pretty much. So that's an issue. Then, excuse me. And then you had the people who, I don't want to have that. That's the relationship part. And then it's the people who are, how can I say this? I can't say it nicely. Some people are just lonely because they don't want to do what it takes to attract people to be in a relationship. They make up whatever excuse they got to make up, you know, whether they got a bad attitude, whether they let themselves go, because there's somebody for everybody that's attracted to everybody. Let's just say it that way. But a lot of y'all are so busy that pushing people away that you wind up lonely, like you said you are, and then you can't really get yourself out of that box because that's a hole you dug yourself. You get what I'm saying? You pushed everybody away, now everybody away. And now you can't go, oh man, everybody come back. Nobody's trying to hear that. So you wind up lonely. Then you have the people who, when it comes to the family situation, you know, some of y'all, you have kids. You go, man, I don't want to have kids or whatever. Yeah. Excuse me, I don't want to have kids. And it's like, okay, but for all the people who don't want to have kids, 9 times out of 10, they got pets. Dogs, cats, they got pets. So they got somebody that they want to care for in that type of, or responsible for in that type of scenario. They just don't want to be responsible for a person. And sometimes it's not necessarily wanting to be responsible for a person. It's one of those situations where you didn't meet somebody to have kids with, or the fear of having kids with the wrong person paralyzed you to the point you didn't try or have any at all. And so then it sounds good when you're young, and I see people 40s, 50s, and it's like, I hate to say it this way, because you can feel like you wasted your time as a parent, and you can feel like you wasted your time without ever having kids. So and you can feel like it's the best thing that happened to you, and then you can feel like it's the worst thing to never happen to you, right? But you wind up in a situation where you have people who are looking like, man, was I scared of the relationships, like the worst parts of that can happen in a relationship, or was I scared of having to be in a relationship because I'm scared, because I'm scary, and fear held you back? Like, I'm not gonna say you're not gonna get your feelings hurt, because that's a lie. You're not gonna get your heart broken. That's a lie. But a lot of y'all rather just waste y'all lifetime not doing anything. And then even, I hate to say this, some people go to, you're not necessarily, you're single and you're lonely, but what you do is you hide in stuff, materialism, sometimes travel, sometimes constantly going out to events. So now you're in relationship with stuff. You're in relationships with trips. You're in relationships with, comedy show came to town, or it's a I don't know, concert, or it's not necessarily the club scene. It's more the event stuff. So now you can't wait and you get ready for all that. But after a certain point, all that stuff gets empty. It's all empty. Like, it's because you you're gonna feel like you wasted a lot of time. Like, at a certain amount of comedy shows, at a certain amount of concerts, at a certain amount of events, it's just gonna be like, it's unfulfilling. That's what I say. And I'm not gonna say it's not fun, but I'm gonna say it's unfulfilling. And then, excuse me, with all the free time that some people have, you wind up in a situation where, as you get older, and it's weird to say it this way, you got your friends, you got your family, and y'all aging, and they got kids, they got grandkids. They've been in a relationship, they've been married, divorced, they've been dating the whole time, and y'all still wind up in the same spot in life when you get in your 40s, 50s, 60s. And it's like, well, what were you doing? And nobody could, what I'm saying, nobody could really make a real justification for that time. And then it's like, why? And I'm not going to, like, as a person who, I went through a lot of unnecessary stress when it comes to relationships and even parenting. But would I say I would never do that? Like if I could do it all over again, I still do it. I'll still be telling y'all, the ups and downs of it, but I still do it. Um, and before I go, I'm gonna say this part because I've known people who've really believed that. I'm gonna be single. I'm never gonna be in a relationship. I'm never gonna have kids. And lo and behold, if they don't have kids, they married. That's dead serious. Because at some point they got tired of, you know, the idea of, oh, I just don't get along with people. That's what this really is about. I'm scared of connection because I don't, I don't want to get along with somebody. And then you realize it's not, it's more me than the people out in the world. And once you get over that part, then you open to everything. But I'm gonna leave it at that. Um, like, share, subscribe. Catch y'all on the next one. Tell me what you think. Peace. You ever been at the top of the universe? I'm gonna take it.